Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, GHP. How's it going? I'm good. Fountain Pen News. Hi. Welcome in. It's always good to see you in here. Queen of Washi. Hello. Carol. Hi. Zodiac Penco. Hi. Bart. How's it going? How is show prep going? Because the countdown is on. And if you are going to the Chicago Pen Show this weekend, know that I'm jealous, but also I hope you have lots of fun, lots of FOMO over here. And if anyone else isn't going and wants to go, let's form a support group for each other. And we can commiserate and talk about all the things that we're going to miss out on, but also we'll hear about it after. Super Planner Girl, hey, welcome in. I'm so glad you joined today. Awesome. How are you? How's your week going? It's Wednesday. I'm a little off schedule and I started my stream a little bit later today just because I'm a little off routine. It's a busy week. A lot of things are happening. And I also have my mother-in-law visiting from New Zealand. So we have a house guest, which is super fun. And it's really nice to spend time with her. And my kids to spend time with grandma. But of course, that sort of throws things off because I'm not on point with everything else that's going on. So, but I wanted to stream because I was like, I miss my friends. I want to hang out. And also, I have some unboxing to do because last week I was going to unbox this Atlas package and totally forgot. So we're going to do it today. And then I had another order come in from Beam Paints, which is a watercolor paint company in Canada. And so I'm really excited to look through some of the things that I got. So I'll share that and we'll just chat and hang out today and do a little bit of painting maybe. I'm in on the support group. Yes, Fountain Pen News for sure. Feels like a long week to me. Not bad, just long. Yeah, maybe it's the last sort of couple weeks that we're getting into spring. We're getting into, warmer weather and things like that. It's a little long. I'm excited to go to the pen show, first one, and see Zodiac pens. Oh, Carol, you're gonna have so much fun. Say hi to Bart in person. Do you have your eye on anything special at the show? Oh, Gamma Lurk, yay. Yeah, go play with Stationery, but also prep for the show. Take some time, relax before the busyness, right? You're lurking while I make pens. Yeah, Bart, for sure. Yes, if anyone has a question for me, Bart, we'll yell, we'll shout. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy you're here. I appreciate you hanging out with me and spending some time with me. And yeah, Bart is awesome. Super, super cool. Bart's a really, really nice person. So we'll yell kindly. Yeah, good luck with this show for sure, Eric. I will. I do. I want to see. Oh yeah, the TCMC collab and one of Bart's pens. Yeah, for sure. Of course. Once you go to Bart's table and just kind of look at all the pens, I feel like when I looked at them at the California Pen Show, I was like, well, I want like one of each, right? But of course, you kind of have to find the one that best suits you, and feels comfortable to hold, and of course is aesthetically pleasing too, right? Because you're going to use it and it's yours and you want it to be special to you. So I totally get that. Yes, so good luck with the show, everyone who's going to be there as a vendor. If you're going to enjoy the pen show, then enjoy, have fun, and remember, pen shows are sometimes about, it is about the products, the stationery. You're going to go see pens. Everything is going to be really beautiful. You can touch and feel and things. And that's always special. But remember, pen shows are a lot about the people. Especially for me, pen shows are a great way of connecting with people that you may have met online, but never face to face. And also get to chat with makers and people who are really passionate about the products that they make, and Everyone's really happy to share that passion. And so really soak it in because pen shows are a special place to be. And also stationery fests and, stationery events. And if you were at the little craft fest, I hope that was fun. I heard really good things about it, which is super encouraging because I want more of those kinds of events, right? I think we all kind of want more of those types of events that bring us all together, whether or not we can make it in person or if we can talk about it and share your hauls and what you saw there, right? So that's super fun. Yeah, definitely let me know what else you're up to and how things have been so far. If you acquired anything recently, feel free to share and we can ooh and ah over it. But today what we're going to do, and I'll kind of dive in as we sort of chat about stuff, is I want to go over what I got from Atlas Stationers. And I've only been to one pen show and I really want to go to more Aura Fest for sure. Yeah, they all look like such fun and it will be even more fun to meet new friends. I'm so with you, Super Planner Girl. I haven't been to a stationery fest. I've been to like planner conferences and I've been to pen shows, of course. But I love that there's like different types of events that are becoming more popular that are sort of, throughout the year that you can choose from based on what location you're in and what you have access to. And yeah, I love that. I think there's something for everyone and I love that part. Especially if you're like kind of into pens, but you're also really into stationery. I feel like pen shows are becoming a lot more stationery, adjacent or encouraging. So more stationery brands feel like they belong at a pen show, which they should. And then Stationery Fest, which is, everything tactile, notebooks and things like that. And I'm so excited for them. I'm so excited for these events to happen. For as much as I enjoyed LCF's Marketplace, it was most enjoyable to get to talk to people. Yeah, GHP, I totally see that. Anna, well-appointed desk, and Lisa Van Ness. Yeah, super cool, right? Really great people. Really big part of the stationery community and getting to talk to people like that in person. And even just people who you've seen and like, you've chatted through streams or you've watched YouTube videos of them or, are just kind of around in the community. It's nice to connect with them in person and get to hang out. I think that's kind of my favorite part of these types of events too, is getting to hang out with people who get it, like want to nerd out and geek out about like all sorts of stationery stuff. Okay, so let's unbox Atlas Stationers first. This is the stuff that I got. So with Atlas Stationers, I am an affiliate with them. And over the past like 4 to 6 months or so, I've kind of just saved up my commission. So kind of let it sit there. But as we sort of move into the year of, price increases and things like that, I wanted to get a few things with my commission and just kind of to make content with them, to compare things. I feel like that's sort of the fun part of stationery for me, is sharing how I use stationery and then getting ideas from other people too and trying like new ways of using stuff that we have and stuff that we acquire as well. So if you have used my Atlas code, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And if you are going to shop from Atlas, know that there are codes out there. You are free to use mine or anyone else's. Save a little bit, and everyone sort of gets a little bit. So when I did order my stuff, I asked for them to pull it live, which you can do for Atlas Stationers, is you can ask them to pull it live. And what Hollywood, Brandon, will do is when they do like TikTok lives, they'll pull your order and then, they'll like read out your little note to them and then they'll add a little something, just a little something special. So for this order, Brendan added this really cool ink painting I think. I'm actually not sure what this is, but I can see there's like shimmer and stuff. And it's super, super cool, like the way it's blended. And it looks like it's like a hand painted thing, a hand painted piece, which is really, really nice. And I love the colors. The colors go so well together. And then this cute kittens and puppies calendar. Because we all need some cute kittens and puppies in our lives, right? So that came with the order, which is really cute. And then I got three fountain pens and one dip nib. So let's start with the fountain pens. Okay, so and the funny thing is, turns out that the fountain pens that I chose are pocket pens. So I don't have a lot of pocket fountain pens. I have a few, but I feel like summer is like spring and summer is kind of the time where we're always on the go, where we need things that are portable, that are easy to sort of, you know, throw into your bag and just like do journaling and do planning outside of the house, or, you know, where we're kind of out and about. And so pocket pens are really a great way of having your like a favorite fountain pen or favorite fountain pen ink with you and still getting to use it, right? Like getting to use a fountain pen when you're planning or journaling. And so yes, pocket pens are really, really handy, and we're gonna look at a few of them. We're gonna look at three of them. So you tell me if you have them, what you think about them, because it's my first time trying these out. This is exciting. It's like, you know, when it's like Christmas or something, when you get to like open up all these gifts and stuff. Okay, so my first pick was Tom Studio pocket fountain pen. And I have not tried any of Tom Studio's like fountain pens, or like, you know, his reusable sort of what are they called? Pens, right? And I love Tom Studio's ideas, or like Tom's ideas of reusing things, cutting down on waste, which I feel like a lot of us sort of think about, because for us using fountain pens, part of it is that we don't have to constantly, you know, throw out our pens, get new ones. With fountain pens, you just pick out a different ink, and it's kind of like a new pen, right? Like picking out a new ink and getting to write with it. And so you love Tom Studio fountain pen? Yeah. The Wren is my favorite. Well, Wendy Sue, we're gonna look at yeah, Indy Dragonfly. Welcome in, Indy. How are you doing? It's an unboxing. It's an unboxing of a few things. So I love the little tilted ink pot I've seen from Tom's. I don't have it, but it's so cool. Yeah, I have seen it too, and it looks really, really cool. And the only thing I have from Tom Studio is like 3 inks, and they're fountain pen inks, not calligraphy inks, but I love them. So I love all the products, the packaging, the way that they look and stuff. So I'm really excited to try a few more things. I've been so tempted by Tom's pocket fountain pens with the architect nib. Every time you see a drum goes, yes, I know. I had such a hard time picking out what nib to go with this. So this is Tom Studio pocket fountain pen in Iris. So it's like a really deep purple color. And I went with the titanium flex. And so it has these like rubber bands on the grip. And you can just slide it in. Look at that though. That's so pretty. And then it's actually like, it feels like a full-size fountain pen. Like it doesn't feel uncomfortable to but I will say that there's no like grip really. So depending on how you sort of grip your pen, it may slide, like you may find that your fingers slide down or something, but it doesn't seem uncomfortable to me. So that's the color you want to get someday. Yeah, I know. I had a hard time picking out the color. I had a hard time picking out the nib because Atlas does have a few of the nib styles or the nib grinds. And so I was like, which grind am I going to go with, or which kind of nib am I going to go with? And I've never tried a titanium nib. And so it's a titanium flex. So it has some flex to it. And I thought, wow, that would be really fun to try out and like do a video about, right? So yeah, you just kind of pop it out. So obviously it would be uncomfortable to just use it like this. So these are one of the pocket pens that you definitely post. And it is designed in the way that you do post it. And it's very easy and very sturdy. It feels like, you know, this cap is not going to go flying off. So that's good. But that is pretty. And, oh, there you go. Okay, so it comes with a short cartridge. It looks like it's a standard international short. So you could use a cartridge, you could refill this if you wanted to, which I sometimes do if you don't want to just keep, you know, disposing and using new cartridges. But I think someone mentioned, I don't remember who, but someone mentioned the Kaweco converter that you can fold, like the foldable converter may fit in this. So if anyone knows for sure, let me know, but I don't have that foldable Kaweco converter, so I can't try it out, but maybe I'll grab one just to see. But I don't know at the moment. Ink that sucker. So we are going to have to talk about what I should ink it with. We'll look at, I also have my ink directory, so we'll look at the bottles of ink that I have, and that might, you know, go really well with it, especially because it's a titanium flex. So I'm really curious to see those ink properties really being shown off with this nib. I got iris outside, lilac inside for my Ren. Ooh, awesome. That sounds cool, Queen of Washi. The 5ml sample bottles from Tom's are pretty cool. Oh, awesome. Oh, that's cool that you can get 5ml sample bottles. The small ones, right? I think I've seen them on the site. Yeah, love watching everything everyone gets. I know, me too, Indy. I love watching people unbox things. And then I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll put that on my list, right? Yeah, amazing. Hi, McPenthusiast. How are you doing? And enjoy your lurk. No problem. We'll just be here chatting and hanging out. Yes, community time. Welcome in. How's it going? Unboxing my Atlas Stationers order. I had some commission to use up, and so I thought, what are some great pens that I don't have that I would love to share and like create content about, you know, just like how it feels, how I can use it. And it turns out I went with 3 fountain pens that are pocket pens. I didn't do that on purpose at first. And then, you know, I was kind of thinking about trying new fountain pens that I have never tried before. And turns out it's the pocket pens that I need. Hi, Olive Octopus. The Kaweco foldable converter is pretty handy. I don't have that pen, but it fits the Lilliput and Sean P6. Oh, okay. So yeah, I think it might. I think I remember someone mentioned it, and so I feel like I have to try it now because they're like, yeah, I think it should fit. Like, well, I want to try it out. But also, I have no problems refilling a converter, you know, every once in a while, which is fine too. Hi, April. Yeah, Tom's Studio. You have the Lumos Mini. That's awesome. And how are you liking it? You've heard it fits? Okay, so I feel like I need to try it. I'll have to get the Kaweco foldable converter and try it out for sure. But yeah. So that's Tom Studio. I love the packaging too, right? Like so much information, so many little details, the design. It's like, yeah, kudos. I think it's so well thought out. Really, really good. So what should we open next? Do you want to see the Pixie that I got? Or something from Pilot? Or the dip nib? The Lumos Mini comes with like 12 different tips. Oh, tips. Yes, I have seen it. Yes. It's like different sizes and then like a brush, a chisel, something else. It's quite short, so I might get the full length sometime. Okay. Hi, Kiara. What color Pixie did you get? I will for sure show it. Let me just look up. So, yes, so the Lumos. There's a Lumos Mini. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so the Studio Lumos Mini. I also looked at this. I didn't end up getting it this time. But, yeah, these are the tips. So cool, right? This comes with this pen, so you can change out the tip depending on, you know, what kind of writing or drawing or whatever you're going to do. And then it's refillable. So I love all this, like, all these extras that you get that you can try out. And, you know, if you don't tend to use a certain type of tip or size, you can always switch it out. I love that. That's really cool. I vote for Pixie. Just got the Pixie in plum, deep purple and blush pink. Okay, let's open the Pixie because so the thing with the Pixie is that I was looking at them after they came out, and so of course a lot of them sold out, and I really wanted one with a broad nib because I have a Benu. I have two Benu Euphorias, and they have both fine. I got them both with fine nibs, and I'm more of a broad nib person, and I know I've heard that Benu nibs tend to, you know, be nice and wet and juicy. So I was like, I want to really, like, I want a broad nib. I really want to see that ink coming through, and so when I was looking at the site, the only pens or Pixies that still had a broad nib were like, there were 4 choices or something, right? And so I was like, whatever, I'll just get whichever one that is most popular on Instagram. And so I did an Instagram poll, and I basically asked everyone, you know, which one I should get. And so I decided to order the one that was the most popular or that had the most votes. So that's what happened. And I'm actually happy with it because it is a nice colorway. As you can't see. There we go. So it's this one. It's the Emerald Sea. Oh, where did it go? No, that's not the one. Oh, it is that one. Oh, that was weird. It was labeled correctly, but the photo took me to the wrong page. So this is the one, and it's so, so cute. That blue-green combo. I know, I saw it on the site, and I was like, it's just really, really nice, right? And the ink choices for this. I mean, I have a lot of blues and greens and teals in terms of inks, and I think I'm gonna have a hard time figuring out which ink to start to try it out with, because I just have so many choices I can go with. Look at that shimmer. The glitter in there. I love how bright it is too. And I know, like, I have seen people, I've seen YouTube videos of people, you know, unboxing and trying them out and stuff, but it still blows my mind how small this is. It is like truly pixie size. It's like really, really small. Like, it's like one of those pens you just kind of like, you know, hide away. It is beautiful, yeah. Dandelion Diaries on YouTube recently showed a Benu with a 1.1 stub, and now I want one. Yeah, the flow and line look great. I bet it did. I bet it did. I can't, as the stub on a Benu, especially a Pixie, would be hilarious. Just because it would put down so much ink from this like tiny little fountain pen. It is a palm pen. Yeah, it is so small. It's so cute. You forget it's there? Yeah. Where's my... This is the Kaweco Sport. It's so cute. It's smaller than the Kaweco Sport too. It is, like it does feel sort of chunkier, right? Like it's a little bit wider, especially in the cap. But it's smaller than the Kaweco Sport. That's so funny. It is really adorable. I agree. It actually is comfortable in my pocket. Like, I forget it's there. I can see that. Yeah. I can see that for sure. Okay. So I got it with a broad nib. And it's such a tiny pen. It's like trying to... Definitely a posted pen. And it has... Yeah. It feels like it's comfortable to sort of sit it in there. And then I think I've seen people sort of mention that there's kind of this groove in here, which should help keep it from rolling off the table, maybe. But also it's kind of interesting to have that there. But so when you post the pen, it's still small, but it's not like super tiny. Like it actually does sort of add some length in there. Let me just see. So the Kaweco Sport and the Benu Pixie. So like both posted, the Kaweco Sport is obviously quite taller. That feels really cute. Feels really nice. Yeah. Definitely a portable pen. And let's see. Ooh, quite a few threads. And it also comes with a short cartridge. And I think when Brad was unboxing the Pixie on his stream, someone mentioned eyedropping this pen, like using it as an eyedropper. And so putting the ink directly into here, which I can see. Maybe using a little bit of silicone grease here, but I might have to try that. I might try eyedropping it. I don't know. But yeah, so that's the Pixie Emerald Sea. Very, very cute. I can for sure see, like, you know, if you have it in your pocket or you're sort of like in a little pouch or something and forget about it because it's like so just, it's really small and portable for sure. But I am curious to see the balance of it as you write with it. So my personal rule for acquiring Benus is that I can't get more of one of the same model. I need this rule because they are so pretty and are releasing so many pens. Oh, I'm so with you, April, for sure. My first, I only have 2 Benu Euphorias, and my first Euphoria I got because it was really pretty, but also, let me show you actually. So these are the 2 I have. So this is the first one that I got, and it's a Cult Pens collab with Benu, and I got it. I think it's called Autumn Sky or something like that, something to do with autumn. And I got it because for a Benu, it's actually very like understated, right? Even though you can sort of see the glitter and the shimmer and colors and stuff like that, for a Benu pen at the time especially, it's very understated, and it's very, it's like a darker color palette and stuff like that. And so I got this because I really wanted a Benu and I wanted to try them out, and I got it with a fine nib, and so it's great. Like I like the balance of the Euphoria. I like how it's actually very sturdy. It's a big pen. It's a long pen, and like even the grip section is very long. But for me, it does feel very comfortable. You have a lot of sort of balance in the pen. And I don't tend to post my pens unless they're pocket pens, or unless, it sort of balances them out more. But for not posting this pen, like it does still feel very long and comfortable. So I got that first. And then, of course, I had to get the Pen Addict 15th anniversary Benu pen, right? And the only one I think that was available when I went to order one was fine nib. So I have 2 fine nibs. But then what I did was I took this pen to a pen show and got Kirk from Pen Realm to grind it into a scythe. So it's a fine scythe, basically, which is like a rounded architect, or smoother architect, I would say. So technically they have different nibs, but so those are the only 2 Benus. And so, yeah, I wanted to add a Benu of a different type to the collection. And because I'm very curious about the Pixie and everyone's talking about it, and I wanted to really give it a go. So I'm excited for that. I'm going to eyedropper mine and put Pilot Peril nibs on them. Oh, that is such a great idea. And I feel like that would be super fun too. That pen is gorgeous too. It's like an Aurora. Yeah. For sure. It is like a, there's like movement in it because of how they blend together. It does kind of remind me of like Christmas colors too, like the green and the red. But definitely like within, how those colors sort of blend together. It's like very like night sky-ish in the autumn. Like I think that's kind of what they were going for, that vibe. So you just sent a pen to Kirk today, Super Planner Girl. That's awesome. What are you getting ground? Or what are you getting it ground into? A scythe, a softer and more forgiving architect. Thank you, GHP. Yes, a really nice nib grind from Kirk, especially when paired with the reverse needlepoint. You have 2 of them. Oh, awesome. Yes, so that's what a scythe is. And I actually went to him and I was like, I have a fine nib. I don't know like what I want, but I do know that I'm kind of bored with a fine nib. So do whatever you want. And he was like, okay, well, why don't you try a scythe? So he did that, and I love it. Like, I think it's really, really nice. And it's because it's a fine nib, it's not as obvious, but you do get that line variation, and it feels really nice, especially if you are into smaller handwriting, if your handwriting tends to be a little bit smaller. I'm just gonna... A Sailor Pro gear from Shishikura, and getting it from Zoom reduced to broad. Yeah, Zoom, I know. I have a Sailor Pro gear with a music nib that I got at the California Pen Show because it was discounted. Like it was cheaper than it would have been. And I tried it, and I don't know if I'm using it incorrectly or if it's just sort of the music nib is very particular. But I used it and I was like, I don't think this is my type of nib. So I'm just waiting until the next pen show, which probably I'll get it done in SF or something. And I'll get it ground into whatever I can. And probably by Kirk, but we'll see. I still have to decide what to get from Annabelle in a couple of weeks. Oh no, Queen of Washi. I mean, you have plenty of time. And also, if you still haven't decided and you go there, you can test some nibs. Usually Annabelle has tester pens, but also, you know, if you can't decide, you can also go around and try different types of nibs and see what kind of lines you like. And so I feel like that's part of the fun, is trying to decide what to get, because there's so many options, right? And not only like getting a nib ground into something, but you can get a reverse grind, which is like my new favorite thing to do right now, is getting a reverse grind so that you can use, you know, a stock sort of line on the correct side or the right side, and then on the reverse have like something fun, have something that you may not use on a daily basis, but it's there if you need to, you know, just kind of play around with your writing styles and stuff. Like right now, my favorite reverse grind, my only reverse grind, but it's so good, is a reverse architect from Gina on a broad nib. And so the architect line is like super broad and nice. And then on the right side, it's like a fine, extra fine-ish line, but I'm so happy with it. Kirk's katana grind is also great as a variation along the same lines as the sky. It's sort of naginata-ish, yeah, where a vertical angle can change the line width. I love naginata style grinds, so katana is definitely on my list. Now I'll have to talk to Kirk about what he can sort of do and what he likes, and I feel like asking a nib specialist, like, what do you think I should do? It's like, you get some interesting answers, and also, you know, they'll kind of say like, well, depending on like how you hold your pen and your writing style and stuff, here are some ideas. And if they have tester nibs or tester pens, then you can try them out and then decide. Smaller stubs have been really fun lately. Yeah, I agree. Smaller stubs are a lot of fun. So I think all kinds of stubs are fun too. But so the Pilot pocket pen that I got is the E95S, which has always been on my wish list, has always been on my list of fountain pens I want to have in my collection. But because it's so like classic and understated, that it's sort of always pushed out of, you know, when I actually go to buy a fountain pen or something. I feel like I'm always, you know, like I'm drawn to the bright and fun and, you know, just kind of like pens that make a statement. And this one makes less of a statement, but I feel like it's one of those pens that I've always wanted to have in my collection because it's gorgeous. But also because I've heard a lot of good things about it, reliability wise. It's a Pilot pen, so I expect it to be a great pen. The friction cap is so good. It feels so good. Wow, that's so smooth. That feels really, really good. Like it's not just gonna like pop off, right? It's like it takes its time, but it's very smooth. So it's a friction cap. That's interesting. And it's smooth when you're posting it too. And then there's like a little click when you sort of post it. What size nib? So I got the medium. Oh, the nib is really pretty too. So I have a Pilot Vanishing Point in a medium nib and one in a broad nib. And I do like the medium, especially for portable pens. Though I tend to like lean broad, but yeah, if I'm sort of taking a pen to go, I feel like If I go with a medium, then like it'll dry faster and the line will be a little bit smaller. But so that's kind of why. And also I think there was only like extra fine or fine and medium. So this converter, I have seen YouTube reviews where people have said that if you fill the converter with the ink, you won't see the ink level. And so I think I'm just going to use a cartridge and then refill the cartridge, which I do with my Pilot vanishing points because I cannot deal with this converter. I got the EF and it is definitely narrow. Yes, definitely. I feel like EF might be a little bit too narrow for me, but I think the medium is a good balance for me. Especially if I'm sort of thinking about like dry time, having something on the go, or sort of scribbling something down in my planner and then just like moving on. I feel like the medium is sort of a good balance in between. I still get to like really enjoy the ink that I'll ink it up with, but I won't have to sort of worry about, you know, too much smearing or like just a big line. Having a wide line. I've always liked those Pilots. Omaha Dad. Yeah, for sure. I have too. I've always, like I said, I've always had this on my wish list and just never got around to it because obviously budget, but also, you know, I feel like there's always another pen where you're like, oh, but it's so bright and cheery. And but I'm really excited to ink this up and figure out like what like how portable it is, like what book I can put it in, what pen loop I can put it in, because it is pretty slim, but it's not like super slim. So we'll see what pen loops and things it sort of fits into. But it is definitely, like it does definitely feel like a luxurious pocket pen, right? But it's not so, it doesn't like overstate itself, which I like. Unlike this one, which definitely announces itself. But it's kind of funny how like those different sizes, you know, depending on your taste, what you're kind of drawn towards. And for me, it's like these sort of cater to two different sides of my style. Like I am very much, I love fun, happy, cheery colors and styles and, you know, anything that's really fun to play with and write with. And then, you know, the adult version of me or the grown-up version is like, I love muted colors. I like understated styles, very classic. And so, yeah, this is me. Do you remove the sticker? I do. I will remove the sticker. I'm sorry, I'm not a sticker person. But I will add it to my journal as a, you know, hey, I got a Pilot. This is the sticker. Yeah, you do too. Yeah, I mean, you know, to each their own. But I don't really like the sticker on there. I love that you're indulging both sides of your personality. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, if you can, right? Budget-wise and just like obviously I'm keeping an eye on my collection and what I actually do want to add to my collection, but when I can indulge both sides where it's like today I feel like, you know, using a really fun and cheery sort of pen, and maybe the next day I kind of feel like just toning it down a little bit, keeping it classy. I'm the same with nibs too, right? Like I like a broad nib. I like sort of those stock nibs. I know what I'm getting. And then once in a while, or every other day or so, I kind of pull out the really, you know, crazy kind of nib. And it's like, let's go really big architect today. Or, like really interesting nibs. And they're really fun to play with ones too. Retro cool. It's classy and retro cool. Yes, it is retro. That's what it is, GHP. It's that retro, it's the retro vibe because of the color, right? Like the burgundy color and like that gold. It is very retro. It's like vintagey. It's simple but elegant. I agree. Yeah. Is that the COM40? Yes. I couldn't deal with it, so I went the cartridge fill route too. Yeah. I prefer converters because I can prime the feed. Yeah, I get that. And a great way to use a sticker to mark the occasion. Yeah. Or even to like remind yourself of what nib you got. Because later, you know, sometimes I'm like, what nib did I get in this? I'm kind of like that with my TWSBIs, where like I had them for a long time, or, you know, I got them a while back. And so I kind of have to remind myself like which ones have the, you know, EF, the F, the medium, because I kind of experimented with my TWSBIs and got like one of each size at some point. So I kind of, yeah, sometimes I have to remind myself of what the nib actually is. Overall, I agree with you. The E95S is an exception for me. Yeah. I just grabbed a pen from my mailbox. Ah, secondhand from Reddit. A Leonardo MZ. Nibs and flourishes. Ooh, yes. The purple one with rose gold. Oh, I love that one. That is so pretty. Enjoy. From Nibs and Flourishes. Yeah. The collab pen is so pretty. That's a nice one. What nib did you get in that one? Super Planner Girl. So, let's see. So those are the 3 pocket pens. Yeah. So let's put the packaging away. Here's a question for you in chat. Do you keep your packaging? Like, do you keep the boxes? What part of the packaging do you keep? Like, do you keep the whole thing, everything? Or do you sort of keep like the important parts of the packaging? Because for me, I tend to keep it all. Unless, you know, the box is damaged or, you know, for whatever reason. But for the most part, I tend to keep the packaging because I don't know. I don't know if I might like, you know, later on, I might resell something, though I haven't yet, or I have gifted a couple of pens. And I kind of like, you know, putting them back into like the boxes that they came in or something. Even if I am just giving it away. But then you sort of have to think about space for all those boxes, which may not be feasible. So 3 pocket pens, different sizes. Benu is definitely, the Pixie is definitely tiny. It is small. Then the Tom Studio, and then the E95S. Different types of pens, different shapes, but all very nice, very interesting, and different nibs. So this one's a broad, this one's a medium, gold nib, and this one is the titanium flex, which is my first titanium nib, and I don't really have like a true flex nib either. So I have nibs that you can flex a little bit, like OmniFlex, but nothing that's like super like actually flexible. So we'll see. We'll see how flexible it is. If it's an LE, can't see your message. Okay, if it's an LE with a special box, yes. Otherwise, not always. Yes, a limited edition makes sense. Or if the box is really special. Like if there's like, you know, I can totally see that. A 1.1 stub. Oh, awesome. Yeah, a Leonardo with a stub. That's awesome. So the last thing I got from Atlas is the Colorverse Shuttle dip nib in aluminum. So shuttle nib. Because I did try it at the California Pen Show. Lisa, Olive Octopus, had a couple of them. And while I wasn't like blown away, even though I only tried like for a few minutes, so I didn't get to really test it out. I kind of thought like I am used to using the Kakimori stainless steel nib. And I just kind of thought, you know, like I've used it so much and for so long that I am very comfortable using it. And so I was like, do I really need another dip nib that I have to sort of practice with and learn the different angles and things like that? But then I thought I probably should, just so I can compare the two and and give it a try. Save that for the avocado. Yes, I will save it. I'm going to put it in I'm going to put it in a temporary holder for now. Just to try it out. But I'm saving it, Bart. That's partly why I was like, ooh, I should get another nib, right? Because if I'm going to have a holder. So I can't wait. I'll be very interested in your opinion about this. I'm very interested in my opinion of this too, GHP. Because at first I was like, I don't know. I mean, I don't need it. But then I was like, you know what? I actually am curious to see which one I can see myself using more often, which one I would prefer, and what kind of different lines I can get from it. So, yeah, definitely very curious about it. It seems like it's designed really well. It's very sleek. It'll be too fine for your liking, I think. Yeah, you know what? We'll see. It's very tapered for sure. So let me pop it into this holder. So it is very tapered. And I can see how you would sort of get those finer lines. But we'll see. But maybe you could get broader lines with this too. I wonder. Have you used folded nibs at all? Do you mean like a Fude style? Because I have used a Fude nib. I have a Sailor Fude de Manin. And I have also used I also have a Beak Point nib that's ground by Matthew Chen. And it is like one of those sort of, I think Kirk has a Concord nib that's similar to it, but it's sort of bent. And if you're writing on the right side, you can get like, depending on what stock nib you're using, you can get that stock size. And then on the reverse, you get those broad lines at an angle. And so it's great for like doing like headlines or, you know, sort of bold hand lettering. And then also for like sketching and stuff like that too. Like a folded brass nib. I don't know what that is. Have Kirk grind on it in P&W. Yeah. I could do that too. We'll see. We need to get you on the flex train. I know. I do need to hop on the flex train for sure. Especially because I do like practicing hand lettering and different styles of writing and stuff. So I can see myself loving flex nibs for sure. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But I don't know. I don't know. So that's the Colorverse Shuttle nib. And so yeah, I didn't get the holder, the nib holder, because I have nib holders, and I will be getting nib holders that I can always throw them in. Oh, thanks, GHB. I could have done the Googles. Oh, yes, like this. I don't have any. I have tried them, but I don't have any. Oh, very cool. You can also throw them in a nib holder. Interesting. Yeah, I've seen people like swatch with them too and stuff, but I would love to give it a try. Very cool. Folded brass nib. Oh, from Stationery Universe. Awesome. I'm gonna have to bug Tori about it. Very cool. Do you have one, GHB? And if you do you like it? I'm curious about, yeah, you're curious about one for swatching. Yeah, I've seen people sort of swatch with it, or, you know, because it spreads a lot of ink on your page. So yeah, I'd be curious about that too. Definitely love to try one because it looks like a lot of fun. So that's my, oh yes, the Atlas card. It's here. That's so cute. It's a really nice drawing for sure. So that is what I got from Atlas. Actually, we should talk about what kind of inks you would throw into these fountain pens. So, like, should we go with something that's like purpley, or would you do something that's kind of complementary or opposite, or just, you know, depending on the nib? Let me see. So for the Benu Pixie, I have, oh, where am I? There we go. I have blues and greens. Let's see. So if we're going to start with green, something that I feel like it should be something that's like fun, something fun and bright, maybe. Purpley bluish gray. Are you talking about for this one? Because yes, I feel like that's the answer. And I don't know if it's going to be a shimmer ink. I feel like I would probably just go with the standard ink. Oh, that's funny. This one's from Ferris Wheel Press, and it's called Emerald Gardens. This one's Emerald Sea. But I don't know if the green is quite the like tealy green. And I don't know if I'll go with green at all, but so those are the greens. Then I have quite a few blues. There's Lake of Fire by Robert Oster. That's a nice blue because it has this sort of like reddish sheen to it. Konpeki is very blue. Colorverse Cat is a nice ink, but it's like a super tiny bottle, one of those little bottles from Colorverse. There's also Ferris Wheel Press. Edwards Gardens is a really nice color. It's a shimmer ink. We have Pannonia and Amarillo Stationery, Azul Frida. This is a really nice blue too. Ferris Wheel Press, Crystal Blue Legacy. Some of these lighter blues are kind of nice too. Oh, then we have one of my favorite teals is Bunga Buck's Tears of Alice, but maybe not for this one. Also, Tom's Studio Neptune is like a really nice dark shade of like tealish green. So that actually might be a good match. And then all these other blues, some purple in there. That would be cool, yeah. That's gorgeous, Tears of Alice. I know, it's one of my favorite. It's like so bright and teal. It's really, really nice. Blue Revelry. It's a little dark. And then we get into the purples. So I feel like there's quite a few options and maybe a shimmer ink. I don't know if I'm gonna throw a shimmer ink into this. But I did kind of like Azul Frida, which is like a really nice blue. Edward's Gardens was like a nice shimmer ink too from Ferris Wheel Press. And let me see if I can find it again. This one. But actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, the one that I really got excited about was Tom's Studio Neptune because of the tealish gray. And then, of course, you can pull out any of the colors that are in the glitter. So this would be really, really nice with like a yellow brown, caramel color, red maybe. So yeah, I love that one. It's probably going to take longer to decide on the ink than it did decide to order the pen. I know, Indy, it always does. And you know what? I will say choosing the ink to go into a pen is like one of my favorite activities because I don't know about you, but I will pour over my swatches for hours just to like, and it doesn't really matter because, you know, you can pick one ink and then when you're done or when you feel like refilling it with something else, you can choose something else. It's not that big of a deal. And also you can choose something and then decide, maybe you don't like it so much and like totally go with something else. Like, why is it such a big deal? But it's like really fun for me. I spend so much time thinking about like, ooh, what could I put in this? And then of course, like if you have a fun nib too, or, you know, you got something custom ground and then, you know, you're kind of thinking about what kind of line that's going to give you. And maybe you can go with an ink that has more properties, more sheen, more, you know, different sort of properties to it that your nib will show off. At least for me, that's kind of the things that I think about. So I think I might go with Tom's Studio Neptune for that, at least for the first inking. And then we have this. And purplish grayish, I think, is like the way to go maybe. So let me see. Let me see what I have. There's also, yeah, it's not as dark, but the Robert Oster and the Coffee Monsters Co. Day to Night is like a really nice mauve. And it's not as dark as this though, but I do have, let me see. And then you can also go with a color that has like purple sheen or shimmer to it. That will show it off a little bit. There's like Dominant Industry Dusk. That one. So purples. There's Jerbon. Poisseux de Lune, which is a nice color. Some of these purples are also really, really light. Like Purple Jade Rabbit is really nice, but it's very light. This one's really nice too. Dominant Industry. Dominant Industry. The Dusk. Yeah, I like that. It's very nice. Or you choose an ink and it turns out that the ink doesn't work well in or with the particular pen and nib combination. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Sometimes, yeah, like I've chosen inks before where they're really wet or really dry. And then depending on the ink or the nib that you have, it's kind of like, this is not a great combination. You know, sometimes it's hard to get those lines working, get the nib going, and sometimes the ink just kind of shoots through your nib, especially if you have like a broad or a stub or something. And so kind of balancing that out too. It's a lot to think about, right? Like, yeah, the Dusk is nice. So Tom Studio Iris is also very nice. It's called Iris, which is funny because that's what this pen is called. But I think the pen color is actually a lot darker than the ink. But that might be a nice combination. Then there's Sailor 123 Ink Studio. That has just some really nice shades coming through there. And then there are grays, of course. Dominant Industry again. Really, really nice. Like that one. And then the black inks, which I don't think I'm going to ink it up with a black ink. Because I do want to enjoy it and have fun with it. So yeah, that Dusk, where did I see it? It was in blues, I think. That Dusk was really nice. And then also in the purples, Jeroboam was really nice. Well, there's also like lighter sort of colors, Blushing Mushroom. Where did I see it? Oh, that's a shimmer ink too. Yeah. That's really nice. Black is too boring. I mean, I have enough pens that have black inks in it because they're like my specific purpose pens. They're my writer pens for notes and things like that. So yes, I feel like black inks have a place, but not with all my pens. Ooh, shimmer. Yeah. Really fun, right? That might be fun. The Dusk was really, really nice. So I don't know. I'm going to have to... I like the Dusk. I think that would be really interesting. So we might have to do that. And then next time I can always go with something a little bit more purpley too. Well, there's also Poison Envy from Ferris Wheel Press. It's a shimmer ink, but you get a lot of green from the shimmer. It's green shimmer, and then there's like green sheen as well. But it's like a purple base color. So that's kind of nice, but it's a lot of green that comes out too. Put shimmer in the Dusk. Yeah, Dusk has shimmer in it. It's a shimmer color. Yeah, that looks cool too. So there's a couple of options there. So we'll see on that one. And then this one, the E95S, is very classy. So we'll definitely have to kind of go with something that's a little bit more, you know, Unless you go with something the opposite, like really fun and vibrant and not retro at all. But I like the, maybe it's too red. Kyun no Oto Azukiro. That's a nice ink. And some are really red. Songs of Scarlet. It's like a very red shade. Classic. Couldn't see it as easy on the screen. Oh, are you talking about, yeah, these ones? Oh, there's Wearing, I don't know if I'll put a shimmer ink in it, but Wearing Ghoul Queen of Hearts is like a really nice, like brown red, deep, 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 like crimson color. That's a shimmer ink as well. I think it's brown shimmer. And then of course, you could always put like a brown in it. Or even like a yellowish brown, like a honey color. There's a few options there. I think my favorite yellow that like has a bit of brown in it is Honeybee, because it's legible but also not super yellow. And then this Amarillo Stationery Toasty Joggers is also one of my favorites. Again, legible, but also not like, still yellowish, you know, caramel, brown, but it's not super, super bright. And then there are browns. It's a really nice brown that I think is like really, really nice. It's Ferris Wheel Press Writing Desk, and it has like a, it's like a really dark brown with some black in it. You see a little green sheen coming through too, but very, very like, it's very mild or very muted green. I don't think it's very obvious when I'm writing with it. Steeped Umber might be nice. That's a Ferris Wheel Press one. Oyster Hour is also a nice ink, depending on if you like lighter shades. I still find it pretty legible, but it leans on the lighter color. Ginger Chicken is one of my favorite inks. Probably not for this one, but or Diamine Writer's Blood. Should we put Writer's Blood in this? Writer's Blood is very wet in my pen anyway, when I use it. Or Ambrosia Indulgence. I think that's a shimmer ink though. It is from Ferris Wheel Press. And this one's kind of nice too. Age of Aurum. I have Writer's Blood in 2 pens already. I usually use Writer's Blood in my Esterbrook Raven. It's matte black, so it's like all black, sleek looking, and has a broad nib. And when I use Writer's Blood in it, it's like the juiciest pen ever, and I love it. It's really, really nice because Writer's Blood has, it's very dark, right? But it has a red sort of undertone to it, or right, like it's a burgundy. It's like a burgundy red, crimson, you know, shade. And but when you're writing with it, it comes out really dark. And the more you write, you know, you can sort of see the crimson color coming through. But it's like, it's the perfect combination with my SD Raven. For some reason, I just find that ink, that pen, goes so well together that I have a hard time trying to put this ink in another pen, and I have a hard time picking a different ink for that pen, for the SD Raven. Shimmers don't always show good online, yes, and also the lighting is not the best, but Steeped Umber is really nice and not dry like so many FWP inks, yes, for sure. I'm not a matchy ink person. I put anything in there. Yeah, Queen of Washi. I used to be like that for sure, especially when I was testing out, like trying out different nibs. And so like for me, it didn't matter what the pen was. It was more about the nib. So if I had like, you know, a fine nib versus a broad nib, I would kind of think about that in terms of what kind of ink I would put in it. And so definitely like this. And then I also had like a number of fountain pens that I just wanted to keep re-inking. And I didn't want to ink it up with like just a color shade or a color palette. And so I would throw like fun and bright colors in. But as I acquire more fountain pens, I feel like I can be a little bit more picky about what I put in them, to some extent. Again, depending on the nib, but to some extent I kind of get a little bit more choosy. But and then also kind of gives me an excuse of having to buy different color pens where I'm like, usually I would probably buy, you know, like greens, blues, or like muted sort of dark colors. And that's kind of what I tend to go for. But I feel like I should get more like red, pink, orange, yellow pens. And for me, the reason is because I can choose different types of inks to go with them. I just got a notification that my Benu trio is out for delivery. Yay! Awesome fountain pen news. Oh, it's so cool that it's a set of the three Benus. I have Birmingham eucalyptus stem in my E95S EF, and it performs really well. That's awesome. The Birmingham. Ah, nice. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is such a nice color. Wow. Yeah, I love that. I love that shade. I'm so jealous. I want them. Yeah. I know. That's so funny. And then also it's kind of like if you have different types of pens, like different color shades and stuff like that, then you can think about a color palette for, like, depending on how often you change out your pens. I tend to do it on a monthly, or sometimes I keep a pen inked up inked up for like a month and a half ish. But usually I try and change them up every month or so. And just, you know, to keep it interesting, and also they'll be like, their ink level will be low. And so it's kind of time to think about whether or not I want to use the same ink or if I want to use a different ink. And so having different types of pens kind of pushes me into like having to do a different color palette that includes bright colors, that includes colors that I may not naturally be drawn to. Oranges and things like that are colors that I don't often use, or yellows, or pinks. But I feel like having a pen that matches sort of pushes me into like out of my comfort zone, and pushes me into like having to think about, you know, trying out shades that, you know, like this one is really, really pretty. It's a Sailor Shikuri Sakura Morai. It's like really pink. And I don't tend to write with those colors as often because it's just so bright. Like it's so... and I tend to paint with them a lot more, or sort of explore them with other tools. But if I have a pen that matches, I feel like I'm drawn more to these types of shades in that sense. So that's why it's kind of nice. Oh, this one's a really nice color too, but I don't know if... It's very purpley prune. That's a really nice color. I love pink, but I also don't use them for writing too much. Yeah, I'm kind of like that, where it's like, I love the color. It's really, really pretty for sure. That's why I have the ink. But other than painting, I have inked it up. I will say that. I have inked it up. I think in February I had the Esterbrook Scarlet Red inked up with this. Just because like it was February, I wanted something nice and pink. I had a couple of pinks, reds in my currently inked. But it's not like a color I'll use all year long, or a color that I'm sort of drawn to all year long. It's sort of like a seasonal, or I kind of have to match it up with a bright pen and also have my dark shades, my more muted colors. Archeo Pen, hi! So glad you joined. Yeah, I'm glad you were able to catch a stream. Welcome in. We're just talking about fountain pens and inks. I got 3 new ones from Atlas Stationers. So I unboxed these ones. I also got a Colorverse Shuttle dip nib. And so I'm kind of excited to try it out, to use it and see how it compares to the Kakimori nib. So yeah. I'm hoping to win one of the Benus if Pen Addict gives them away. Yes, Brad hasn't yet, right? Definitely would love. That would be an awesome giveaway. And if you won it, that would be cool. Monteverde Jade Noir also works well in that pen and nib. Yeah. Jade Noir. I think I had a sample of it at one point. I don't have a lot of Monteverde inks. But I did have like a set of, this one. Let's see. I did have a set of samples of different noir inks. It is really, really nice. Dark green. Something about dark greens, right? They're really nice. Very nice. Well, that's a good one. I like it. I've stopped getting BPC bottles because they don't have standard inks they keep stocked. Oh, that's a little frustrating sometimes. I think I have a couple of Birmingham sample inks, like ink samples. I don't think I have bottles of any of their inks. Also not easy to get up here, but that one can be frustrating with them if you get a color. Yeah, so if you like a color, you almost have to get more than one bottle if you can. Oh, that's what you did with eucalyptus stem and chinchilla. Yeah. The jade is pretty. I do like that. Oh, bye, Super Planet Girl. I'm so glad that you joined for a bit, though. That was fun. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye. A Dose of HD. Hi, welcome. How's it going? How have you been? We are talking fountain pens, we're talking nibs, we're talking inks that match fountain pens. Whether or not you match your inks to your pens, or if you just like to throw in whatever ink you want to use in whatever pen, right? It's all good. It's all cool. And then I also got a Colorverse Shuttle dip nib. And so the only other dip nib I have is the Kakimori stainless steel. And I love it just because I've used it so much, like I've practiced with it. And so I just feel comfortable using it. Not that it's the best dip nib out there, but because I've used it so much that it just like, I know the different angles I need to get or need to use to get the different line variations. And so I think I need to sort of step away from it in a way where I try out something else and see, what kind of line variation I get. And this one looks different than the Kakimori nib, and so I am very, very curious to see what kind of lines you can get from it, for sure. And I'm pretty sure it's going to take a little bit of practice and just being able to handle it and stuff. So I use the recipes on Birmingham's website to mix colors. Yeah, I think you've mentioned this before, fountain pen use, and that is super, super cool that you can do that. I just came in time. My first Kakimori nib and holder are out for delivery now. Oh, awesome. Yay. Did you get the stainless steel or the brass nib? Because I don't have the brass nib. I have tried it. And apparently it's a little bit softer than the stainless steel. But I'm happy with this one, so I didn't bother to get the brass to compare it. Who did that dip nib hold it? This one is by River City Pen Company. So Rich made this for Eric at Amarillo Stationery. So it is, yeah, it's really, really pretty, right? Like, look at that colorway. And then this mini one is also from River City Pen Company. And I like it because it has sort of these understated like purples and blues, and it is still shimmery, right? Kind of reminds me of like galaxy type of color palette. The river, I know. Bart comes in, that River City guy, the guy that makes the nib holders. I know. Well, I can't wait to try yours, Bart. So I'm just waiting for it so I can swap it out. But yeah, it's kind of interesting, nib holders too, like the different sizes. Like this one's like a full size, right? Very comfortable, long. But then I think this is called the mini contoured nib holder, is like really cute and very portable. So something to be said about different sizes of nib holders and whatever you sort of find comfortable. I got the stainless steel one. Yeah. Wish I could have gotten the vintage one. Yes. But I'll get it later. Yeah. I'm curious about the vintage one too, because I did see it and I was like, maybe I should. But then I think, you know, this one is so different, the Colorverse Shuttle, that like it varies so much from the Kakimori nib that I'm looking forward to trying it out and testing it. Hi, Mrs. G's. Ciao. How are you doing? How's your week going? You have a couple weeks left, I think. How's your week gone so far? So before we start playing with some of these things, I did want to show you. I'm good, Miss G's. Thanks. I'm like off my routine a little bit for this week because my mother-in-law is visiting from New Zealand, and so we have a house guest, and I kind of have to, I have to rejig a few things in my routine, but I still wanted to stream today, so I was like, I'm going online. Bye. I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. Bye. Oh, in 2 weeks. That's awesome. Oh, but also sad. Yeah, because you're leaving Italy. Such a nice place. All that yummy, yummy food. Week is doing good. Can't complain. I'll be in Athens this weekend. Oh, that's going to be so fun. Athens is beautiful. So let's... I'm trying to open this without being obnoxiously loud, but definitely had to rip through that. So this is from Beam Paints. It is a watercolor. They're a watercolor paint company out of Manitoulin Island in Ontario, and they are an Indigenous company. Small shop that do these really really cool and eco-friendly paints. So that's really cool that they do this this kit with the Kaweco Sport. There we go. The Kaweco Sport, and then they call these paint stones. So each is like, a little cute little tub of paint. And then they also have a portable paintbrush in it. And all these sorts of different, kits and sets, sample cards with little paint dots. So if you're into watercolor paints, especially if you're in Canada, and they have free shipping too. So that's why I'm like, supporting Canadians, supporting Indigenous, supporting eco-friendly. They're very environmentally conscious and friendly. And so all of their things are, naturally made. They use beeswax wrapping, things like that. And so they're very conscious about, the materials that they use. And the cool thing is they make these out of like birch bark, tree stumps. So they cut, or like they find these pieces and they cut them to size so that they can fill them with paints. And even these are refillable. So once you use up, which will take forever, because like as small as this looks, actually it takes a while to finish one of these. But if you do, you can buy little paint stones that you can put inside. So you can refill them with whatever color you wanted to. But they have various different types of paint palettes, which is super cool. So yeah, these are beam paints is kind of my go-to for watercolor paints. And every now and then, you love beam paints. Yeah, April. Every now and then they release new colors. And so let me just... So every now and then they release new paint colors, which is like all handmade. And so I had to like pick up a few. And this is beeswax wrapping, which you can then reuse for like putting your paints on, because they will catch spills, right? Or like if you're gonna carry around your paints, they're like a really nice way of sort of holding everything together. Such pretty colors, I know. It's very, very cool. I love the Pixie that you got. Yes, I know. That's the Pixie that I had asked on Instagram for people to vote on. Like I had given 4 choices, and there was like a all blue, this one, all brown, and then like the brown yellow one, like the honey one. And so this one won by like a few votes. It was very, very close. But I thought, you know what, it is fun. And then I have a lot of inks that will match with it. So yeah. So as much as I like talking about fountain pens, love talking about fountain pens and inks and stuff, I'm also really into other stationery, especially watercolor paints. And so that's kind of how I started with like painting flowers, is with watercolor paints. And then I moved on to experimenting with fountain pen inks. And so my first love will probably be, watercolor and watercolor paints. But so these are some of the new shades that they released. And so I thought, I have to, there's a few that I wanted to add to my collection, but these are shimmery ones. So they use mica or mica to get the shimmer. And so I can't wait to try it. And then this one is gold, I think. Yeah, green gold, which is really pretty. And then we have blue, Lake Superior, and a grasshopper one. This one's really pretty because it's like a chartreuse or a greenish yellow. So I'll swatch them and we can see. That was my pathway too. Yes, I'm always so happy about hear about new paints, especially when such a wonderful company makes them. Yes, yeah, for sure. And especially when, they put so much thought into things that they're making handmade, right? Like This is like they roll up these beeswax sort of containers to hold the paints, which is like super, super cool. And then this is stamped or painted with their company name. And then the other cool thing I like about bean paints is they have these travel brushes. So I have one already from them. That's this one. And unscrew it. And then you get this full-sized round brush. Right? And so yeah, I love this brush. It's very portable. And you have like the cap that protects the bristles. And so they had this on their site, and I thought, I have to get it. Look how small and tiny it is. And it's just a little brush. It's a portable to go, you know, throw into your little travel kit. Tiny things are so satisfying. I agree. Why are they so cute and so small? I used to dislike chartreuse green, but since getting into pens and ink, I think I love it now. I'm the same, April. I always thought of it as like a pukey kind of color, but there's something so satisfying about it now that I've sort of seen different shades of chartreuse, or like the greenish yellow shade, where you're kind of like, you know what, actually it's kind of nice. It's sort of this like off color that you either like or you don't, but I feel like I like it a lot more now. So itty bitty, tiny little things. I guess it sort of goes with the pocket fountain pen line, right? It's so itty bitty. That's so cute. Tiny things are so satisfying. It is so cute. Yeah. So, I have another paintbrush from them too. It's just sort of a regular sort of paintbrush. And then the other day I went to Michael's and I got some like actual water brushes or watercolor brushes that like are very like wide. You can use them for doing a wash, or, you know, and I thought like for me, obviously I could do broad petals and all sorts of different fun ways of using brushes and watercolor. And so, yeah, so that was from Beam Paints. Definitely worth checking out if you are into watercolor paints, especially because of like the different variety they have. Like if you are into shimmer paints or different shades. So yeah, you can get different, like they have so many different variations of colors depending on what you're into. And again, you can mix them and blend them too, right? To play with paint colors, to play with blending. So yeah, so cute. So cute. And they also had these, which I keep in my Coupon Lucy little tin. But they used to have these like little, or I guess they sort of do too, like travel cards, they're called. And they used to include little samples of them. But like you could get little travel cards, which I think are super handy, right? You just throw this into like your travel kit of if you want to paint outside or on the go or whatever. And kind of have fun with them. So, and like I said, these beeswax covers that they use, they're very sturdy and versatile. And so when I'm inking up a pen or I'm painting, I always put down one of these covers, or these sheets. That's what they are, the wax sheets. And so it kind of protects everything, especially my desk and my desk mat. So let's see. This is like a really bluish blue. The deep blue with our chartreuse. Just leaning very like yellowish. We'll see when it dries, but it's very bright and cheery. We have some shimmer ink, shimmer paint. This one is a lilac. What's it called? Amethyst. So it's like a really nice light shimmery purple. And this one is rose gold. Ooh, that's nice. And then we have a gold, green gold. Yeah, you definitely start to see the green. So there's that. It's a really nice green. It's like emerald. I like the rose gold too. And the purple is pretty, it's light. It's like a lilac. And the chartreuse is very bright. And the blue is very blue. It's like a nice classic blue. I'm really liking this green for sure. That kind of matches this pen. Let's move these pens here. Let's try with the green. It's a nice line. Wow, it looks like you can get pretty fine lines from this. And it's cute. I love it. That is a nice green, and the shimmer is there as a nice accent. Yeah, I agree. And then as it dries, look at that gold, right? That's so pretty. That's really, really pretty. I love this green combination of gold, green and gold. It's really nice. Ooh, pretty. Yeah. Ooh, so pretty. So yeah, that's my unboxing. That's my stationery that I've gotten in the last little while. Yeah, I agree. It is very, very pretty. And especially if you're into shimmer inks for your fountain pens, and like I don't use a lot of shimmer inks in my fountain pens just because they can be finicky, and then you kind of have to take into account the nib and stuff. But for painting, it's so fun. Whether or not you're painting with fountain pen inks that have shimmer, or if you find watercolor paints that have shimmer too. It's very pretty. So, very nice. So we will see. What we could do is we could try out this shuttle nib. Just making sure it's in there. We can try out these two nibs and see how they differ. Even though I haven't tried the shuttle nib, or I haven't spent a lot of time with it, so it will be a lot less like comfortable, or I may not know how to use it right away, but that's okay. We'll play with it. I do have sample ink. It's Sailor 767, and it's like a dark green, darkish green. So let's try that. Oh, you know what? Okay. Let's try it in here. So this is the Kakimori stainless steel nib, which I've used for a long time. Do you guys want to help me pick inks for my Benu Pixies? Let's look. This is the set I got. Let us look. Ooh! Fountain pen news. The bright ones. I love this set. This is so pretty. And I can't decide. Like, I like all three, but I feel like the purple is sort of my... Look at that. So pretty. You have this really cute pink. It's a little bit darker. Very nice. I love that set. So, yeah, it's so beautiful. Good choice. So, are you thinking of... Oh, and then there's... Yeah. No, I like the one that you went with, because I really like that purple. And the two pinks are really nice too. Like a magenta and then like a really nice soft pink. Or baby pink. I got one medium and two broads. Yeah, that's nice. I love the purple and the magenta ones. Yeah, me too. Me too. That looks really good. Have you thought of any inks that you would like to, like, are you considering specific inks? I might just start out with little cartridges. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I will too, but we'll see. Because you kind of want to play around with the pens too, right? Before you sort of commit to something. But I'm not so crazy about the pink, but the other two, yeah. Yeah, I'm drawn to the purple one first, and then maybe the magenta, and then the sort of like lighter baby pink. But I love that set. I love the, like how they, you know, go so well together. Especially if you love that colorway. So this is the green. It's like a really, really greenish green, which I love. Purple first, always. And I'm not even like a super purple person. Like I do love purple as a color. But I feel like I usually tend to go like blues, greens, and then purple. But that purple is just so nice. And I love that it has the like bright green flakes, glitter flakes in it. Like green, yellow, blue, teal. I love the colors that they're reflecting. The magenta one too is doing that, but very nice. So this is the Kakimori stainless steel nib. Which for me is very comfortable to use, and I have no problems writing with it either. It puts down, you can put down a lot of ink. Like it's great for swatching, shading. You just have to kind of find the right angle to use. But because I've sort of played around with it for a while, it's not hard for me. It's not hard for me to find those angles that I need, depending on how I want to use it. This is like a very bright green. So it is a bright green color. So the Colorverse Shuttle nib. Oh, right away I was like, yeah, that's a fine line. So this is the Colorverse Shuttle. Which, wow, you could really put down a lot of ink with this. I think it was Dustin who said that he had to sort of smoothen out one of the nibs, and it could have been the Colorverse Shuttle or something else, but it does feel a little, I don't know if it's scratchy just because it's so new. So I think I just have to break it in a little bit, use it a little bit more. But wow, it definitely puts a lot of ink down. Like even just, I also dipped quite a bit. I dipped it a lot. But getting that really broad line is actually like, it's just sort of hold it down at, you know, a lower angle, which I feel like is easier to do with this nib than it is with this, because it doesn't have that much of a taper here. Right? So let's see. Yeah, it's like, this is probably the most comfortable I feel when you're shifting the angle down towards the paper because of that taper. So already there's like, there's a positive to this dip nib is that it's actually quite angled here. So for me, it feels more comfortable putting down more ink if I needed to. Can't wait to get my hands on it. I got the mini forest holder. Nice. That's awesome. So Colorverse Shuttle, let's see. Do you always have to write with the reservoir on the top? Or can you sort of, I guess you can, you know, turn it around as you're writing to get more of that ink distribution. But I don't know for sure. Yeah, it feels like it is holding ink in there. But also there's ink on all sides of it, so. I hope it's not too small for me. Yeah. Now sometimes you don't know until you really like try or get a hold of something. It does keep putting down more ink. I don't know. I feel like the more I use it, the better I feel about it. Like drawing, shading with it. It does feel, like I wouldn't say scratchy, but it does feel sort of like I feel feedback and it may be catching a little bit. But that also could be because I haven't, like this is my first time using it. And so with more use, it may dull it a little bit in the way that it feels a little bit smoother on paper. I don't know that, but I will keep playing with it. And I have to say the fact that you could get such a broad line, like that is great for swatching, right? Or just for putting down a lot of ink. I feel like this would be very useful in that way for sure. So already I like it. I'm gonna say I like it. I don't feel bad about, I don't feel negatively towards it. I feel very good about it. So can't wait to play more with it, compare the different lines. Obviously I don't, you know, I haven't tried all the different angles that you can get with it compared to a Kakimori. But so far it feels like, because, you know, this nib, I've used it so often, it does feel smoother in that way, that when I'm writing with it, it's not scratchy at all. It's not catching on the paper. So I'll be curious to see, you know, as I'm writing with the Colorverse dip shuttle nib, whether that feels a little bit smoother with more use. And then all the different angles that you can get. And Bart's right, like, you know, I get that fine line right away where I like first started to swatch and thought, oh, wow, this is very fine. But it is definitely about how you angle it. So I love that it's tapered in the way that if you angle it closer to the paper, you actually do get a broader line. So can't wait to play with it more. But I will say the Kakimori stainless steel nib will, you know, it'll be hard to beat it for me. But I think if you can get variation between the two nibs, there's something to be said about like being able to use both in different ways, or getting different lines from each nib. So if they work together, then that's all the better for me, because then I can use them in different ways, and I can use them both in sort of achieving different lines. So far, I really, really like it. I have to hop off, friends. Gotta get back to, you know, house guest duties and all those things. But it was really fun hanging out. I'm so glad that I got to unbox my stationery goodies. And I'll think about the inks that I'm going to put in these pens a little bit more. But I will ink it up soon, and I'll ink them up soon. And then I'll do, maybe on my next stream, we can do sort of writing and drawing samples, talk a little bit more about the nibs, see how they sort of feel when you're actually using it. Fountain pen news, enjoy your trio of Benus. And if you're waiting for stationery, I hope you get it soon, and definitely enjoy. Go play with your stationery, make the most out of it, find some joy in it. Yeah, no worries, GHP. Thanks for watching me unbox. Yeah, no worries for this stream. Thanks so much for joining and for hanging out with me, friends. So I wasn't like talking to myself the whole time. Cut it short the one day I get to make this stream. Yeah, I'm cutting this short because Bart is here. No, I'm just glad you were here, Bart, because I know you must be busy for pen show prep and all that stuff. So happy prepping. Have fun on the weekend. And I know you're going to have fun. I mean, Bart, you're right beside Zach, Skogsy Pens, Eric, Amarillo Stationery is going to be there. Bailey is going to be there. And other people. And a lot of fun people are going to be there. And I'm definitely feeling the FOMO. But all of Octopus and I will hold down the fort here on the streams. April, thanks so much for joining. I'm so glad that you were here, and I love when people are kind of like, oh yes, Beam Paints, or the small Canadian brands that we love and want to support. And yeah, among the sort of big brands that everyone is aware of, but it's kind of fun to try out different brands that we may not be super familiar with, that we may have heard of, like Tom Studio. But yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun trying out different brands and different types of stationery too. And yeah, next time, once I sort of play around with my paints, I'll put together a palette and we can do a little bit of watercolor painting, which I also love doing. So have a great rest of your day too. And I'm actually more prepared for this show than any show I've ever been. Oh, good, Bart. I'm so glad that you're super prepared for this one. It's going to be fun. It's going to be busy. So definitely. Except Bailey's pen. Used to have to make Bailey's pen. Well, you have Bailey's pen. You have my nib holder. You have all these projects that you have on the go. And but yeah, have a great time. I can't wait to see photos and video of all the things that are there. I hope everyone gets to hang out too. Hopefully there's space to kind of hang out and play with inks and play with pens and stuff, which is kind of my favorite part of pen shows too. Aside from looking at all the fun stationery, it's like hangouts and play with the stationery, right? So everyone have fun. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your week. I'll keep you posted on when I'll stream. I'll try to stream on Friday like I usually do. And maybe we can sort of be sad about not being in Chicago. But either way, can't wait to hear about it. Can't wait to see how it goes. And yeah, I'll see you soon. And take care. Have a great one. Have a great show. Yes, for sure. Have a great time at the Chicago Pen Show. And if you're not going, have fun otherwise. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here, for being part of the community, for joining us either live or in the replay. Have fun. Bye. I'll see you soon.